Hi everybody, welcome to Texas Lone Wolf Mega Howl, your source for Red Pill Truth. We are going to discuss why men are freaking out. Why are men going to a boycott the controversial word called marriage? Why are they going to boycott it? They're going on strike. So, I am going to borrow another author's work. I'm giving credits to Helen Smith, a forensic psychologist. She wrote a piece in a Reddit forum. She's a member of Reddit forum over 11 years ago. All right, she's in that Reddit forum, so to speak. She wrote a piece. Said, there are many reasons why men don't want to get married. So let's go ahead and let's hop in over here and let's go take a good look. Let's take a good look. Why they don't want to, men don't want to get married. Helen Smith is a contributor. She wrote this piece, all right, in HuffPost. She wrote this piece. I need to go and share it with you. Are you ready to take a peep at it? 8 reasons why straight men don't want to get married. We're going to go ahead and dive into this. I'm giving her 100% credit. Yes, I know I am, talking about somebody else's work. But I'm making content to appeal to the public. And of course, many men share my videos to warn other brothers of the dangers of tying a knot. What do you have to lose? What do you have to win? We're going to go find out, shall we? She wrote this piece in 2013. That was a long time ago. 8 reasons why straight men don't want to get married. 8 reasons why straight men don't want to get married. So if you're Helen Smith and you see this video, I'm giving you full credit for this. And I'm giving you full credit due to this. And I'm not making any money off of this. But I'm just highlighting why men are actually walking away from the altar saying, I refuse, and walking away from potential husbands to be. It seems that fewer and fewer people in general are getting married these days. Even fewer men. Men no longer see marriage as being important as they did 15 years ago. This was written in, 2013. So why is it that? So why is it there? She wrote a book called Men on Strike. If you want to, read a book, I highly recommend getting Men on Strike book. Of course, I'm not going to get anything for advertising Helen Smith's work. Actually, what is the culprit? 8 reasons why men don't want to get married. According to this, you'll lose respect. You'll lose respect. So, you'll lose respect. Alright? Of course, she wrote a book on this. And women in the 18 to 34 say they have successful marriage as one of the most important things in their lives. Rose to 9 points since 1997, up from 28% to 37% for men. The opposite occurred. Sharing voices is opinion dropped from 35% to 29%. Why? What is Helen Smith onto on this? Well, and she said, number one, you'll lose respect. So, yes, society says, yeah, go get married. You need a wife, go get married. Then they tie a knot. Then the argument breaks out. Respect is lost. See? You know, fathers are figures of fun more than figures of respect. That schlubby guy with flower diaper bag at the mall, or endless array of buffoonish TV dads and sitcoms and commercials, kind of like Homer Simpson of today, so to speak. All right? In today's culture, father never knows best. So it's normal for society to put down the men. Oh, father doesn't know best. Men are saying, I've had enough of this. I had enough of being disrespected. I had enough. Enough is enough. I had enough of being disrespected. I had enough of being told that father has to listen to the woman. I had enough. And men are being crapped on by society. Oh, I'll just take it like a man. Really? So guess what? Men decided to say, hey, I had enough of this. And anyways, this gave birth to MGTOW. Men going their own way. Men take care of each other. From funerals to, helping out another brother, etc. Men are actually more happier, reported being more happy being single than being in a marriage. Why? So let's go ahead and dig here. So, by volume, 69% of mass media reporting and commenting on this was unfavorable. Wow, with a 12% favorable, 19% neutral or balance. Then number 2, you lose out on sex. You lose out on sex. Married men have more sex than single men on average, right? But much less men who are cohabiting with their partners outside of marriage. Oh, wow. Much less. You see that? Much less. It was said that a woman's the gateway to sex. But what happened is the woman said, I don't have to give it to you, but she'll go give it to someone else not in a relationship with her. What's wrong with that? You lose out on sex. Number 2, wondering why men are saying no to marriage. You lose out on sex. Married men have more sex than single men on average. That's when they first start out. Then couples get bored after a while. From old people smell to a relationship going sour due to emotional affairs, sexual affairs, or whatever, getting their needs met outside of marriage. That can actually happen. So, and most importantly, no, you lose out on sex. Number 2. And this is the woman speaking. All right? You can get mad at me all you want if I talk about the woman's way. You can get mad if you want to. Go ahead and get mad, stamp your feet, scream, whatever. But don't tell me I didn't tell you so. And she's right. Helen Smith is right. She's right. Get this. Research even suggests that married women are more likely to gain weight than women who are cohabiting without marriage. A Men's Health article mentioned one study followed by 2,737 people for 6 years found that cohabitors said they were happier, more confident than married couples and singles. Are we on to something here? Oh, wow. And number 3, you lose friends. Those wedding bells breaking up that old gang of mine. That's an old song, but it's true. When married men, ties, friends of school, work tend to fade. Although both men and women lose friends after marriage. It tends to affect men's self-esteem more, perhaps, because men tend to be less social in general. Take a good look at that. Well, I make sure I give my fiance space right here, okay, so to speak. You'll lose space. So actually, when a man and a woman give each other space, it makes the relationship more fun and makes it more interesting. So you lose space. We hear a lot about men retreating to their man caves. Why do they retreat? Because they lost battle for the rest of the house. The Art of Manliness blog mourned decline of male space. Note that development of suburban lifestyles tend to bring families together, resulting in elimination of male spaces in the main part of the house. The exile men to attics and garages and basements and at least desirable part of the home. As a commentator to the Post observes, there was no sadder scene to a movie than Juno when a married guy, Jason Bateman, realized that his entire huge house, he had a large closet to keep all the stuff he loved. That hit me like a punch in the face. Helen Smith is on to something here. Oh, yes. You could lose your kids and your money. They might not even be your kids. Lots of men I spoke with are keenly aware of the dangers of divorce. Where they were married and it went sour, the woman might take everything, including the kids, and other men were concerned that they might even wind up paying child support for kids that aren't even theirs. It's a very real possibility in many states. One particular state in instance, Washington State. Alright? On my blog, I polled over 3,200 men asked how they would react to find out the child wasn't theirs after all. 32% said they would feel anger and fury at their mother. Of course, the mother is the one who determines who is the father and who is not the father of the child. Okay? And 6% say would feel depression Wow, that's a kicker. 18% anger and depression. 2% said none of the above. 32 said angry at the system that forced them to pay, of course, the Title IX system. That's an anti-male system. Only 2% didn't care. One man commented that his ex-wife had taunted him with knowledge that his 11-year-old son wasn't actually his. I was angry at the mother, but I severed all ties to the boy. Some may see this as a failing, but I see it as a self-preservation. And those asked question whether the courts would make a non-biological parent pay child support, pay attention. Yes, they will. They will see you nothing more than a source of cash for the child. Let me repeat that. They will see you nothing more than a cash for a child. It seems like the person in the situation should be able to sue the real father for child support. But unfortunately, the courts don't give a damn. And number 6, you'll lose in court. Men often complain that family court's legal system is stacked against them. As in fact, it seems to be. Women gain custody of child support for the majority of the time. As it is pointed in this ABC News article, despite the increase in men seeking and receiving alimony, advocates warn against linking a trend of equality in the courtroom. Family court judges still tend to favor women, said Ned Holstein, the founder of Fathers and Families, a group advocating family court reforms. Family court still needs to give custody overwhelmingly to mothers, but child support court. Anyways, so here you go. They came into existence years ago to give things to mothers, and mothers need it, he said. The times have changed and courts have not. They talk about the court reform. Number 7, you'll lose your freedom. At least you're charged with child support and can't pay. You can be put in jail. You can't afford a lawyer. You don't have a right to have one appointed because, according to the Supreme Court, it's technically a civil matter. Never mind jail time. Fathers and families found that men who are jailed more than women, a new report concludes that 95 to 98.5% of all incarcerations in the United Massachusetts, sentenced from Massachusetts probate and family courts in 2001, although 2011 had been men. This percentage may be increasing with the average of 94.5% from 2001 to 2008, 96.2% from 2009 through 2011. It is likely most of those incarceration for incomplete payments of child support. Further analysis suggests that women who fail to pay all their child support are incarcerated only 1/8 of often as men with similar violations. Now, do you see the pattern here? And lastly, number 8. Single life is better than ever. While value in marriage that men have declined, the quality of single life improved. Single men were once looked on with suspicion, passed over for promotion, important jobs, usually valued stable family men, often subjected to social opprobrium. Now, it's hard to have a love life that wasn't aimed at marriage. Premarital sex was risky and frowned upon. Okay, now no one looks askance at the single lifestyle, dating easy. And employers are probably going to prefer employees with no conflicting family responsibility, plus video games, cable TV, internet provides entertainment that used to not be available. Is this good for society? Probably not. This is going to lead it to its downfall. As falling birth rates, increasing single motherhood demonstrates, people still respond to incentives. If you want more men to marry, it needs to be an attractive proposition. So, to clarify this, the author Helen Smith has spoken to hetero men about the marriage for the book. All right? How the dynamics of other marriage can be fascinating study for future research. HuffPost ends. So, now, okay, what do you think about minimum strike? So, anyways, minimum strike, men are saying no to marriage. Helen Smith is a forensic site. This is her page right here. She's a forensic psychologist who interested why men are not getting married, go to college, or doing other things society wants them to do. So I asked him, it turns out that they're not immature man-child types, but rather respond rationally to society and is sensitive. Ask me anything. Okay. She posted some updates and she wrote a book. And so basically, this is her quote, word for word. Okay, hi, So. Thanks for the question. I think that is very few people marry will become more normal to society to see people in their 30s, 40s not marry. We see this in Europe, and they seem to adapt. However, is this a good thing? I don't know. Over 50% of the babies born to women under 30 are unmarried. How would these kids do without fathers? Our research showed not as well. The kids are going to be incarcerated in the institutions or detention centers, so to speak. She also wrote, I think the legal reasons are some of the main ones is men not wanting to get married to child support, alimony, and not getting custody of their own kids. Charles Murray, author of Coming Apart, found that men were not working as often before the recession or engaged in more leisure time. This because they're not marrying and don't need much money to survive. They have more time as they do not have families. That's Helen Smith's quote. So, the family courts system rewards mothers for breaking the contract, so to speak, according to this. So, over here, Marox 19 wrote, so what do you think the political influence or more single mothers will be? Is that not clear? Let me spell out. A single parent home where there's both less time and less money. I see this more of so-called women issues, meaning there will be more and more agitation for the government to provide support. So you see, they're going to have to go and tax the heck out of the taxpayer to pay the single mothers. That's an incentive. to keep the system going, so to speak. I can see more agitation for universal daycare and so forth. What say you? So I'm going to go ahead and take this beer out, and I'm going to let you see this yourself. Thank you for checking this out. And lastly, so nothing has been sugar coated. Now, Helen Smith is the author of Men on Strike. You can find her book on Amazon. I highly recommend get that book. But, of course, if you can afford it. But why are men going on strike? And I believe I found the answer for you right here. All right. Peace and have a good day. All right. Take care of yourself. Take care of others.